The economics of owning a bioengineering company. Imagine asking someone what a bioengineering company sells. Most people would answer with medicines, artificial organs, medical devices, or cutting-edge genetic treatments. That sounds right, but it only tells part of the story. The real product isn't a pill, a robotic limb, or a DNA therapy. The most valuable thing a successful bioengineering company creates is intellectual property. Scientific discoveries protected by patents that can generate income for decades. Once you understand that, you begin to see why investors are willing to pour billions of dollars into companies that may not earn a single dollar in product sales for years. Unlike a restaurant or a retail store, a bioengineering company often spends years losing money before it earns its first dollar. Imagine opening a business where you might spend 10 to 15 years building your first product, with no guarantee that regulators will approve it. That sounds like a terrible business model, yet it has created some of the world's most valuable companies. The reason lies in the economics of innovation. Every successful discovery has the potential to solve a problem affecting millions of people. A single therapy for diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, or inherited genetic disorders can become a multi-billion-dollar product. Investors understand that one breakthrough can pay for hundreds of failed experiments. Research is where the journey begins. Teams of molecular biologists, biomedical engineers, software developers, geneticists, and physicians spend years exploring tiny biological mechanisms inside cells. Thousands of experiments may lead to one promising result. Most of those experiments never become products, but every lesson moves the company closer to a discovery that competitors cannot easily copy. This is why patents are everything. A patent gives the company exclusive rights to its invention for many years. During that period, competitors cannot legally manufacture the same technology without permission. Instead of only selling products, companies often license their patents to pharmaceutical firms, hospitals, universities, and medical manufacturers. In many cases, licensing agreements generate steady revenue long before a product reaches patients. Consider the cost of getting there. Building a modern biotechnology laboratory can require anywhere from $5 million to over $100 million, roughly €4.3 million to €86 million, or £3.7 million to £74 million, depending on its size and capabilities. Specialized equipment such as DNA sequencers, robotic laboratory systems, clean rooms, and advanced imaging machines each cost hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Before a single customer appears, enormous amounts of capital have already been invested. Hiring the right people is just as expensive. Elite geneticists, biomedical engineers, artificial intelligence specialists, software developers, regulatory experts, and clinical researchers command high salaries because their knowledge creates the company's greatest asset. In many technology companies, machines produce the value. In bioengineering, people create the ideas that eventually become protected intellectual property. Then comes artificial intelligence. Modern bioengineering companies increasingly rely on AI to analyze enormous biological datasets. This is where the business begins to resemble a technology company rather than a traditional healthcare company. The value is no longer only in laboratories. It also exists in software, machine learning models, genomic databases, and proprietary algorithms. Companies that combine biology with artificial intelligence are creating entirely new competitive advantages. Gene engineering provides one of the clearest examples. Technologies such as gene editing offer the possibility of correcting faulty genes before they cause disease. Instead of treating symptoms throughout a patient's life, future therapies may solve the underlying problem once. Economically, this creates an unusual challenge. A lifelong medication generates continuous revenue, while a one-time cure may need a much higher price to recover decades of research costs. Pricing becomes a balance between innovation, accessibility, and financial sustainability. Regenerative medicine introduces another fascinating business model. Scientists are learning how to repair damaged tissues using stem cells and biological engineering. If successful, patients recovering from spinal injuries, heart disease, or severe burns may regain functions previously considered impossible. The scientific achievement attracts headlines, but behind the scenes the company is managing manufacturing, regulatory approvals, logistics, insurance negotiations, and long-term patient monitoring. Tissue engineering pushes the idea even further. Researchers are developing artificial skin, cartilage, blood vessels, and eventually entire organs grown from living cells. The economic potential is enormous because organ shortages affect millions of people worldwide. Yet producing living tissue requires sterile facilities, specialized bioreactors, quality control systems, and highly trained personnel. Every step increases costs but also raises the value of successful products. Medical devices and wearable biosensors represent another growing revenue stream. Smart patches, continuous glucose monitors, implantable sensors, and health monitoring wearables collect valuable medical data every second. The hardware is only part of the business. Subscription software, cloud platforms, predictive analytics, and physician dashboards often generate recurring income long after the device has been sold. This is where psychology quietly enters the picture. People increasingly want healthcare that is proactive instead of reactive. Receiving an alert before becoming seriously ill provides peace of mind. That emotional benefit encourages long-term use of wearable technology and subscription health services. Companies are not only selling devices. They are selling reassurance, convenience, and confidence. Neural engineering expands these possibilities even further. Brain-computer interfaces and advanced prosthetic limbs allow individuals to regain movement, communication, or independence after injury. Developing these technologies requires expertise from neuroscience, robotics, software engineering, electrical engineering, and medicine. Few industries demand such a wide combination of knowledge, making successful companies exceptionally difficult to compete against. Synthetic biology changes the economics once again. Instead of manufacturing chemicals through traditional industrial processes, scientists can program microorganisms to produce medicines, fuels, specialty materials, or food ingredients. Tiny engineered cells become microscopic factories operating around the clock. The factory is biological rather than mechanical, reducing waste while increasing production efficiency for certain products. But every opportunity comes with enormous risk. Clinical trials are among the most expensive stages of development. A promising therapy must pass multiple phases of testing involving hundreds or thousands of participants. Even after spending hundreds of millions of dollars, a treatment can still fail because it proves ineffective or unsafe. Investors understand that failure is not the exception in bioengineering. It is an expected part of the business. That uncertainty explains why partnerships matter so much. Smaller bioengineering companies often collaborate with global pharmaceutical firms that already possess manufacturing capacity, regulatory expertise, and worldwide distribution networks. Instead of building everything themselves, innovators license discoveries while larger partners commercialize them. Both sides reduce risk while increasing their chances of success. Companies like Moderna demonstrated how years of research into messenger RNA suddenly became globally significant during the COVID-19 pandemic. What looked like overnight success was actually the result of decades of scientific investment before public demand rapidly accelerated commercialization. Similar long-term research strategies can also be seen at Illumina in genome sequencing, Intuitive Surgical in robotic surgery, and Neuralink in brain-computer interfaces. Another hidden source of value comes from data. Every clinical trial, laboratory experiment, and medical device produces information that improves future research. Over time, companies build proprietary biological databases that competitors cannot easily reproduce. In many cases, these datasets become just as valuable as the products themselves because they accelerate future discoveries. Governments also play an important role. Regulatory agencies demand rigorous evidence that new therapies are both safe and effective before reaching patients. Although this process increases cost and delays revenue, it also creates trust. Without strong regulation, confidence in new medical technologies would quickly disappear. From an investor's perspective, bioengineering follows a different timeline than most industries. Instead of quarterly profits, success is often measured by scientific milestones, patent approvals, regulatory progress, strategic partnerships, and clinical trial results. Share prices may rise dramatically on positive research news long before products ever reach the market.